weapons in view.
That's them. Saber to Raven, white van, multiple military-age males, weapons visible, moving to intercept.
Roger. Unless an attack is imminent, do not engage.
White van, left side. Go, go! They're here, Adolf! They're here! Come here! Go! Don't fucking move! Police, freeze! Whoa, whoa. Get your hands up now! Get down on the ground! Make right now! Not gonna tell you again! Suspect.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare has returned, and with it, a 3-part package, championed by the series' most intoxicating, often disturbing campaign for the series. A bold new direction for the ever-popular multiplayer makes an engrossing splash, and if fans of the series are expecting the same run-and-gun multiplayer affair they have grown to expect, this audacious new approach with its tactical zeal and Battlefield-like influence might just change the way you play Call of Duty moving forward.
Targets are up, boys. Let's kick this off.
With Black Ops 4 opting to forego a campaign for the fashionable Battle Royale, this reboot of Call of Duty Modern Warfare returns with an intimate narrative campaign, one that steers clear of convoluted global-scale jargon, replaced with fascinating and sympathetic character story details, placing you right in the thick of it.
Bravo 6.
For the first time, Call of Duty has placed significant concern on each trigger pull. Not that previous campaigns in the series were not intense in their own right. However, this latest reboot shrewdly showcases the authentic consequences of war, like never before. Taken from the foundation of the original Modern Warfare, Infinity Ward has aggressively tweaked the narrative, and in doing so has crafted arguably the best campaign for the series. If you feel a little uncomfortable while playing this campaign due to the unavoidable human casualties sometimes taken by your hands, and or seeing them as unfortunate innocent victims in unforeseen circumstances, chances are your sentiments will be shared by many. At every turn, campaign scenarios force you to face the cruelty of this conflict. One sequence, you and your fire team are clearing the various floors of a terrorist cell resident. Carefully surveying rooms with deadly hostiles shooting through doors made this encounter extremely intense. I jumped several times, even taking the life of an innocent woman who quickly appeared in my view from out of nowhere. The moment was hard to swallow, and adding to the guilt, you discover she was trying to quickly reach her screaming baby, still crying in its crib. Interestingly, a few paces later, I enter a room where I find an enemy combatant pointing a gun at me while holding a female hostage, or so I thought. After quickly taking this guy out with a precision headshot, the so-called female hostage, after falling, gets up, reaching for an AK-47, turns and takes me out. I failed to act because my previous encounter guilted me into not pulling the trigger on a female. However, it got me killed. Refusing to let up, some shootouts place you in the streets of London, with innocent citizens running for safety, and often in your line of fire as you're volleying bullets with the enemy, who engages with no mercy. It all comes together as distressing and excessive. Yet for this critic, there was an extraordinary sense of satisfaction and wonderment at how well Infinity Ward compelled me to be emotionally invested. Never before has a Call of Duty game showcased the savagery and or inhumanity of war quite like this, and I loved every moment of it. As mentioned before, the scope of this experience is scaled back some for a more intimate and personal touch. Fueling this roller coaster ride is the support of an incredibly new and enhanced IW engine, or Infinity Ward engine. Everywhere you look, especially while playing on enhanced consoles, the PS4 Pro, Xbox One X, as well as PC, the 4K resolution is jaw-dropping, adding to the campaign's vivid shock value. Character models can seem photorealistic during cinematic cutscenes, bridging well with its seamless gameplay counterpart. Even the character performances are expressed with passionate authenticity, believable with weight to their measure, Just about every character, good or bad, felt important and engaging. Ultimately, after completing the campaign, there was no surprise that I was back for more, for my second and certainly not last playthrough. With the campaign's exciting open-ended conclusion, the sequel could not come any sooner. As with all Call of Duty titles, the ever-popular multiplayer is where your investment is cultivated. Yet for this latest COD, Infinity Ward reinvents the series' competitive foundation for the better, even if it isn't perfect out of the gate. Call of Duty Modern Warfare currently offers quick play, with of course a filter option allowing players to customize their match-to-match experience with multiplayer modes you are familiar with. Dynamically enhancing the experience, Infinity Ward has also implemented 3 new modes ranging from intense close quarters combat to large-scale open space confrontations. First up, there is the new NVG or Night Vision Goggle mode, where you face off at night on night maps wearing night vision goggles with a minimal HUD and standard health, of course with the increased headshot damage. Also, for a more intimate engagement where you and one other teammate faces off against enemy players in 2v2 matches, the gunfight mode offers quick succession rounds that are an absolute blast to compete in. Lastly, and certainly not least, Infinity Ward has taken a chapter out of the Battlefield playbook by offering what's known as Ground War. Not quite as to scale as Battlefield's Conquest modes entirely, Ground War is certainly a large-scale conflict, impressively featuring vehicles such as four-wheelers, tanks, and helicopters. While kill streaks, yes, kill streaks are back, can get a bit out of hand with airstrikes, cluster bombs, and the like, sometimes this is happening quite often in this mode. The most fun in this mode, however, is played with friends who are willing to play the objectives with a willing tactical process. Ground Wars feels as though Infinity Ward is testing the large-scale waters. With kill streaks feeling like the bull in the china shop for most Ground War matches, skilled gameplay at the moment seems to run a distant second. As you can tell, the multiplayer is not perfect. Sound balancing, avatar shouting, and the rare yet occasional glitching add to this mix. Call of Duty Modern Warfare sports incredible sound, and it can also drive you crazy. From listening to your loud footsteps and trying to decipher all of the other loud footsteps coming from all directions, especially while indoors, I have been killed many times being unable to distinguish between myself, my teammates, or the enemy. As a way to isolate my own footsteps from others, I incorporated the field upgrade known as Dead Silence into my build, which allows you to run faster with extremely quiet footsteps. This has been a big help. However, this upgrade is limited in usage with a decent refresh rate. I also love how awesome it sounds when my chosen avatar barks at downed enemies or instructs my teammates of friendly fire. However, sometimes the shouting out of spotted enemies across the map can get me killed, and get me killed fast. Unfortunately, in these cases, the enemy can also hear this. Again, something that needs to be tweaked. Not completely taken out, just adjusted. While you still cannot heal a downed teammate in Call of Duty multiplayer, unless you're playing in the co-op mode, new additions like being able to drop ammo to replenish teammates, the ability to peek around corners with your weapon fastened to the wall, smoke bombs being far more tactically useful this time, a tactical shield that actually works, and so on, organically fosters teamwork like never before in previous CODs. Complementing this new approach is the game's current maps and their designs, which I greatly appreciate. Each map supports strong engagement points or entryways, which if properly managed, depending on the play mode, are the difference between winning and losing. The map designs are all well suited for the team contentious enough to impose their aggressive will on their opponent. In this way, and from my experience, the more communicative and cooperative team has the advantage over the more fragmented teams who prefer kills over victory. The multiplayer feels strikingly new, with many players trying to get used to it, for better or for worse. The gunplay here is arguably the best of the generation, due in part to the weapon's handling physics, graphical fidelity, and sheer realism. Not until this latest iteration that I ever play with the sniper rifle. Now I cannot put it down. I'm running around with the overkill perk rocking 2 primary weapons and I'm loving it. Aside from the default operatives at the start of your multiplayer journey, players can unlock newer avatars from two factions made up of the Coalition and Allegiance. From completing the co-op objective-based missions, which at the moment is a chaotic mess of unforgivable spawning enemies to fight through in order to open certain avatar characters, to more reasonable ordeals, such as executing 25 finishing moves, win 5 matches in gunfight mode, it all feels good to unlock newer characters to play as during the missions. Ultimately, Call of Duty Modern Warfare as it stands now as a complete package is some of the most engaging and compelling shootouts I've had this generation. The integration of tactical posturing within the COD ecosystem makes the series stand out even more. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is a bold move by Infinity Ward, one I hope becomes the mainstay of the series. And there you have it.
All clear, sister.
Hadir is my best sniper. You can rely on him. And all my fighters.
Marines want their pound of flesh. They're leading the charge on this.
I told you we would help you.
And you're keeping your word.